Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weischadle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weischadle. Doug, history was made in Major League Baseball this week.
I'm still shocked at this team. I had thought they had done this little feat that you're going to talk about earlier before, but I obviously I was wrong.
Of course, we're talking about Joe Musgrove, the San Diego kid who grew up in San Diego, pitched a no-hitter for the San Diego Padres, and it was their first ever no-hitter, which is shocking, which means now that all Major League Baseball teams have thrown a no-hitter.
That's a nice stat to throw out there.
I never understood that. I was shocked to hear that. I thought every team had a pitcher that threw a no-hitter, but apparently I was wrong. But now every team has thrown a no-hitter.
Well, hopefully that little moniker you gave him, the San Diego Kid, doesn't stick with him.
I love San Diego Kid.
He sounds like a boxer.
It is such a great story, though. He grew up in the San Diego area.
No, it's great to see. It's great to see.
It's an amazing story. So congratulations to the San Diego Padres.
Well, it's actually kind of interesting that it's taken this long for San Diego. Like I said, I thought they had done a no-hitter a long time ago because you think every team has already done this. But I guess there are still certain statistics out there, or certain feats or accomplishments that certain teams haven't done yet.
Yeah,
and I really haven't thought about what else is left out there for that hasn't been done. I know last week we talked about naming rights that had 8 teams left. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they hadn't thrown a no-hitter yet. No one on their staff had any.
And it was baseball's 305th no-hitter. So there you go.
And they've only got one of those 305.
Yeah, right.
Well, they're off to a good start. Maybe they'll get another one soon.
And coming up later, we're going to have a By the Numbers segment where we let the numbers do the talking. And also we're going to have a Turnpike Sports Book Report where we talk about what's going on, the sports book across the country. And for my interview this week, I'm talking cornhole. That's right. I'm talking to the founder and commissioner of the American Cornhole League, Stacey Moore. It's going to be an incredible year for cornhole because they signed a massive deal with CBS Sports to televise their events. And now you can bet on cornhole through their deal with Draftkings, and Stacey Moore is going to tell us all about it. It's been a busy week in sports, so let's take a trip down the Turnpike. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
First up this week, we've got a brand new betting show to talk about.
All right.
Now,
TV betting show?
It's an online TV betting show.
Online
Streaming
TV.
TV betting
Streaming
show, I should
TV.
say.
Smart TV. I can get it on my smart TV?
As a matter of fact, I think you can.
Okay.
But we'll call it streaming TV just to be on the safe side.
All right.
And it's, I have to admit, it's nothing that we haven't seen before in terms of betting shows.
Okay.
It's who is doing the betting show that makes the difference this time. Major League Baseball has launched their own betting show.
I heard about this, but I didn't know it was streaming. I thought it was going to be on their network.
It's on the MLB.TV.
Okay. So it's on their MLB.TV site.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's called Better's Eye.
Better's Eye. All right.
Hosted by Keith Irizarry.
All right.
And again, they even admit in the press release that I got, they follow a format similar to the other betting and pregame shows.
Well, you know why? Because that's an easy form to follow for the viewer. It's easy to follow. You're going to get. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm assuming they're going to have numbers thrown at you and analysis thrown at you, and the betting shows that are on TV now are very easy for the people to follow at home. So, I think it's a good format.
And also, if you think about it, there's only so many different ways you can throw out the odds, the lines, the stats. It's really the only difference I see with this is if you have specific baseball people instead of a show that does everything, you have one show that focuses just on the one sport, which always seemed to be better in terms of predictions.
I'm glad MLB is doing this because, baseball is very challenging for a bettor. I mean, it's one of those things where not that any team can win at any time, but any team can win at any time, basically, really. So, look, the Red Sox got swept by the Orioles in their opening series. Did you think that would happen? No, of course not. And then they went on to win 4 more.
Wait.
Who knew?
If you follow the Red Sox, you knew that was going to happen.
Wow.
Because
against the Orioles, really?
That team is in the
but they won 4 straight afterwards.
Yeah, again, it really depends on the matchups, and I think that's where a show like this comes in handy.
Yeah, no, that's why I find baseball one of the toughest sports to bet. And I'm glad MLB is doing this, so it gives me some guidance.
And it's available for free on MLB.com.
Great.
MLB.tv. I keep
MLB.tv.
I want to say their main website, MLB.com, but it's MLB.tv.
So is this a daily thing?
It's a daily show
Okay.
at 6 p.m.
All right.
every day. And also you can watch it on Twitter. They have a new Twitter handle, MLB Picks.
MLB Picks. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely follow it.
It shows it does the show, but it also does put out the picks for both betting and also fantasy, because if you look at the MLB Picks Twitter handle, it says odds powered by BetMGM, fantasy powered by Draftkings.
Okay. All right.
So I'm assuming at some point in this bettor's eye, if they haven't already, I haven't watched the entire show, I've watched parts of it, that they're going to have fantasy stuff as well.
I got to be
makes
honest
perfect
with you,
sense.
Truth be told, I haven't played fantasy baseball in a long time. I mean, I don't know why. I just thought of it now when you said it. Boy, I haven't. I think I'm going to jump into it. I think I have a FanDuel account. I'll try some fantasy baseball maybe tonight.
I actually have been carried away with fantasy basketball.
Really? Okay.
I actually prefer that more so than anything. But I'm also a basketball fanatic more so than baseball. I mean, if you want to talk, it's football, basketball, baseball, then hockey. I mean, but again, I guess, maybe watching this I'll be better able to handle, because there are so many different aspects of baseball betting that makes it different from a lot of the other sports. There's a lot more individual micro markets to choose from. Use a terminology that's out there right now.
Baseball is great for in-play betting.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, I love in-play betting with baseball.
Exit 2.
Next up, skill-based video game wagering platform Play. That's Play with 2 L's. Don't know what the extra L means, but Play.
Were you tempted to pronounce it a different way because it had 2 L's, or was there any other way to pronounce it?
How else are you going to say that?
Play.
Yeah, you mean put a hesitation in it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Or maybe PLA? I don't know.
So Play with 2 L's.
Has received $1 million in funding in addition to another $3 million round that they just did. So basically $4 million. But this $1 million is specifically going to be earmarked to help grow their one-on-one eSports dual wagering that's going on their platform.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that to me.
This is a platform that allows peer-to-peer betting on eSports competitions. You can actually put up your one-on-one duel with somebody.
All right.
You put a line on it, a betting line on it, place your wager, then you go off onto your other platform wherever you're going to play, whether it's Counter-Strike or whatever, or Fortnite or whatever game you're playing, one-on-one with whoever you're playing against, bet on it, and collect your wager if you win, or they collect the money if they lose. This is for skill-based gaming, so it's not even gambling.
I was going to ask. So technically, this is not gambling. This is
not gambling.
This is skill-based gaming.
This is skill-based gaming, and it's not considered gambling because it doesn't have purely random results.
Huh. Okay.
Now, personally, if it's a one-on-one duel, that could be a random outcome anyway. But if you think about it, I guess because it's esports in certain games, it's skill-based more so than luck, which is the definition of gambling in a lot of states.
I would guess a lot of people disagree with that, but if they can do it, good for them.
Well, they're legal in 39 states so far.
Really? Wow. Okay.
And they're going to be spending the $1 million on hiring people, improve its user experience, developing tech, accelerating user acquisition. And according to their statistics this year, new matches played on their website or on their platform have increased tenfold. New registered users have doubled, and the average wager size per match has increased to over $20. Now, they're not just playing for money, so that also adds in the non-gambling factor.
Yeah.
There are some prizes involved from big-name brands. And they got some big-time investors. Bradley Beal from the NBA is one of them. Russell Stokes. You even had the big-time rapper Travis Scott. He's part of the investment group that first launched this.
Okay.
So this is really a step in the right direction.
You sounded so old with that.
What?
Big-time rapper.
Did I say that?
You're big-time rapper. The kids really enjoy them.
Let me
really
get out of my
'em.
walker and
Wow, big-time rapper.
Well,
Big-time rapper.
what makes them different, and it's the tech.
Okay.
They can monitor the match using an artificial intelligence algorithm, determine who won, because that's always been the problem when you do one-on-one tools like this. You don't know exactly who won. Somebody can claim to win. Somebody else can claim it too as well. But they can they put the money in an escrow account. Then the match happens. Their AI algorithm determines who actually wins, and as soon as the AI algorithm determines who won, the money's released to the winner.
Okay.
So really, once you place your bet, it's out of your hands until the match is ended.
Okay.
So that's actually not a bad way to monitor a system.
No, absolutely not.
I'm actually waiting to see some of the sports books adapt some of these things, but I guess they do that anyway, because you place your bet and you wait until it's over and then it's dispersed afterwards.
Exit 3.
A couple of new trademarks to talk about this week. One is I can't say it's being filed by, but it's being filed on behalf of Patrick Mahomes.
I think I saw a graphic with this. It's the combination P and the M. I had to look at it really closely because I didn't see where the letters were, but I eventually saw it.
It's a combination of the letters.
Yeah, very interesting.
It's a nice graphic design.
Yeah, no, I liked it.
I mean, it's almost similar.
Once I knew what I was looking at, yeah, I liked it.
It's almost similar to the way Tiger Woods looks. That T and the W that he has.
Yeah, like they're combined letters.
Yeah,
together.
that seems to be kind of a common thing now, too, like TB12 doing that kind of stuff. But he doesn't own this.
All right.
Adidas owns it.
Oh, okay.
Adidas filed it. They have the endorsement deal with them. So I'm assuming there's some wording in the deal that if the endorsement deal doesn't get renewed or ends, the rights in this mark go to him, or maybe just gets discontinued.
Maybe
I don't
not,
know.
Yeah.
But Adidas,
maybe he'll have a chance to buy it or something like that.
Oh, then yeah.
Who knows?
Thank God he's getting all that money because Adidas will probably hold him out for a lot.
Well,
of money
we
that.
don't know what the deal is, but it'd be interesting to see. I'm always interested to see what happens to intellectual property when deals end.
Well, they have had a deal with Mahomes. Adidas has had a deal with Mahomes since 2017, and they expect it to go for, I think they're talking maybe another 5 to 10 years, that sort of thing. But they filed the mark on March 29th this year. It's first and the last initial graphic, and it shows that Adidas hopes to use the trademark on shoes, gym bags, sweatshirts, hoodies, jackets, pants, headwear, and other items. So this is intent to use. The line has not been launched yet.
It's one of those perfect trademarks for the front of a cap. It's just like perfect for a baseball hat.
Okay.
No, it's very distinctive. You can really identify it on the top of a hat or like on the not the sleeve, but the side chest of a shirt,
where the
things like that.
Pocket should be.
Yeah, where a pocket design.
Also, they have an entire page on Adidas' website called Pat's Favorites, which are all his cleats, hats, socks designs, all that stuff that he has with Adidas.
Okay.
And also, they're also distributing his Ultra Boost DNA brand as well.
I don't even know what that means.
I never heard of it either.
What is it?
To be honest with you,
What is it?
That's Patrick Mahomes' clothing line too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's called Ultra Boost DNA.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this
was like an energy drink or something.
I know, but this is it's going to be one of those interesting things where, again, let's see how the intellectual property plays out down the road. But I don't think they're going to have a problem with this. They're making tons of money off Mahomes. He's making tons of money off of Adidas.
Sure.
So I think, unless this ends up being like that Roger Federer mark or Rafael Nadal, whatever the tennis player was, he couldn't get the mark away from the sports company.
I'm sure Patrick Mahomes and Adidas has a better relationship than that.
Oh, I'm sure he's got a better contract than.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because he got the Adidas sponsored the year he came into the NFL, so he's had this ever since he's been a player. Oh. The other trademark I thought was actually kind of funny. The WWE has filed another trademark this year.
They file a lot of trademarks.
They are about 40 trademarks into the year.
Wow. boy.
This one was for the Elimination Chamber. Now,
is that a wrestler or is that a thing or what is the Elimination
take
Chamber?
the cage match they used to see on the old-time wrestling stuff.
Okay.
They have taken it to a new extreme. It's the most dangerous match that they have that happens at WrestleMania and some of their other pay-per-view events. It's a cage match on steroids.
Okay.
And
So when we're talking about an Elimination Chamber, we're talking about the ring or the type of match it is.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Mostly the ring for this anyway.
All right. Okay.
They have filed this trademark not for a wrestler, not for an event, but for toys and merchandise.
That's great. Yeah, no, hey, I remember growing up, there was always the ring part of it. You had the action figures. I almost called them dolls, but action figures, and they had the ring and things like that. You jump the guy from the top ring, and, it's, no, I can see a toy with that.
Well, I also want to see their toy foam hands.
Okay.
The costume masks, novelty face masks, and this is my favorite part of this, Christmas tree decorations.
Now, this is all for Elimination Chamber.
The Elimination Chamber, because
Okay.
you really want an Elimination Chamber hanging from your Christmas tree.
Christmas tree decorations, the Elimination Chamber. Okay. All right.
I mean, does it play like
Silent
Night or something with it? Or
you know what? Buy one of those and keep it in the box, and that might be worth money in a couple of years. You don't know.
Or
But
it
you
might not.
got to keep it in the box.
Everything has to be in the box.
Yeah, keep it in the box.
Exit 4.
And last but not least, I thought we were done with this when Mannings retired from football.
Which Manning?
Both.
Oh, okay, both.
But it's Brady versus Mannings again.
Mannings.
Both of them.
Both Mannings. Okay.
In the NFT platform area.
Well, I know Tom Brady.
Non-fungible tokens.
Non-fungible tokens. Yeah, I know Tom Brady launched something with NFTs. By the way, I'm using it in the correct way. Non-fungible tokens.
Correct.
Something called Autograph, or I saw that on the news.
Well, he has launched Autograph. He announced it the day before the Mannings
what
were
is that?
supposed to.
I know he launched it, but what is it? For people who don't know
collectibles.
non-fungible tokens like myself,
Take
what is that?
like a old time baseball card. I guess that's the only way you can phrase it.
A baseball
now.
card.
A baseball card, and it's basically a collectible based on a video or a piece of artwork that has some tech involved in it. It doesn't exist in the real world.
Okay, well, let me. We did a story on something a couple weeks ago where a guy was selling small video clips.
Yes,
I think it was basketball or something.
Top Shot.
Top Shot, yeah.
Highlights.
Now, is this what we're talking about here? Little videos or a little?
Don't exactly know with what Brady's going to do because his company Autograph is going to be selling sports, entertainment, fashion, and pop culture NFTs.
Okay.
And auctioning them off and developing even more stuff. Doing meet and greets and prizes and that sort of stuff.
Okay. All right.
The Mannings are using highlights.
Okay. So the Mannings are actually doing what I described with that basketball company was
They are doing their own highlights.
All right.
Their father. Here, they have a list here.
So all the Mannings are involved.
8 pieces. They're going to do 8 pieces to begin with. They're going to have Peyton's Omaha catchphrase.
Okay.
Eli's helmet catch.
All right.
The completion. Some of their charitable work they're going to have some NFTs for. And their father, Archie Manning as well. Archie Griffin. Wow. There's a mistake right there. But,
the same era they played in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But they're going to have it for one for his father, too.
So are all 3 Mannings involved?
The 2 are.
Okay, just the 2 brothers?
They have Archie involved in terms of, their father involved in terms of having an NFT for him.
Okay.
For auction, for sale, that sort of stuff. But, again, both of them are going to be doing the exact same things. They're going to have physical artwork based upon the NFT.
Okay.
They're going to have signed memorabilia as well when you purchase these NFTs. Virtual meet and greets with the 2 quarterbacks, as well as I think there are meet and greets being set up with Brady and some of the other celebrities he's going to have involved with Autograph.
Okay.
And Autograph is going to be more expansive, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But the Mannings supposedly had this idea first. Brady's team got wind of it, so they sped up the announcement for the Autograph.
Do you really
NFT
think that's
company.
what happened, or they
I
just?
don't know. I
You're
think
just spurring on the.
I think it's just. I think it just adds to the Manning versus Brady legacy here, where they're always battling. Again, it was kind of weird that they were going to be launching it on a certain day, and all of a sudden Brady out of the blue announces his the day before. So a lot of people point to the fact that maybe there's still a little competition there.
I like people are trying to drum up controversy.
It's not controversy. It actually adds to it. You know what? It's going to make me want to see both.
I'm very curious
companies.
to see what it is. Yeah, I'm very curious to see. I mean, when they say launch, do they mean it's online? I can go look at them now.
I think Autograph will be launching soon. I don't know when the Mannings are going to be launching Maker's Place on April 16th.
Okay, all right.
So you'll be able to see probably the Mannings before that.
I'll
but
check it out.
Again, this is more and more people are doing NFTs. I know the World Poker Tour just announced an NFT.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they have an entire series based upon it where they're going to be auctioning off non-fungible token versions of player highlights or poker player calls, raises, that sort of thing throughout the entire series. So that's actually going to be kind of interesting to do. I mean, if you're into collectibles, this is the next step.
I guess so, yeah.
So, you're not going to get bubbled.
So I'm assuming, let's say you're like one of these new wave collectible guys that you're interested in these non-fungible tokens. But do you need to, I don't know, buy a hard drive to get all these things on it? Is that what we're doing now, or is that how they're collecting them, or how does this work?
It really depends, because I've seen some of these being held in the cloud. Some of these are being downloaded.
Let me tell you something. If I'm buying something very valuable, I'd be very afraid to put it on the cloud.
Well, that's why
I want it on a hard drive in my possession.
That's where the NFT, the underlying programming comes in, because it provides ownership. It can't be counterfeited.
Okay.
But then again, I think everything can be counterfeited at some point.
No.
But a non-fungible token is you're not supposed to be able to counterfeit this.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be unique in the marketplace.
And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, stick around, because later on we have a By the Number segment coming up. We'll also have the Turnpike Sports Book Report, where we talk about what's going on in the sports books across the country. But coming up, I'm talking cornhole with the founder and commissioner of the American Cornhole League, Stacey Moore. Not only did they do a massive media deal with CBS Sports, but now you can bet on them through Draftkings. And Stacey Moore, the commissioner of the American Cornhole League, is going to tell us all about it when we come back with more Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here.
Use offer code SPICE404.
They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with Drizzly.com.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-297-9788. 800-297-9788.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. You've played this game at picnics and tailgates, but Cornhole has been taken to a new level. Through its media deals and even a deal with Draftkings, which will allow you to bet on the sport, Cornhole is welcoming legions of new fans. And to tell us all about this fast-growing sport, we have the founder and commissioner of the American Cornhole League, Stacey Moore, on the line. Stacey, thanks for joining us.
I appreciate you having me. I'm looking forward to chatting about cornhole.
I'm looking forward to it, too, because one of those new fans is myself, because I have loved watching it on TV. But for people who aren't familiar with the American Cornhole League, can you tell us something about it?
Yeah, so I started out on a journey to make cornhole a professional sport just over 5 years ago. In addition to that, we also wanted to organize the sport for all ages and all skill levels in a better way than it was currently being done. So we started out by creating our own software, setting up a structure for leagues for anyone to play and anyone can win, was our tagline. And we just set out to do a lot of organized cornhole all over the United States. And we've grown to where we have well over 450 directors out there running events for us all over the country. So obviously, a lot of people know us as the professional sport that they see on ESPN and soon to be on CBS. Mm-hmm. And but again, we've got leagues going on for all ages and all skill levels all across the country.
How did you personally start with cornhole? I mean, were you at a barbecue or a backyard picnic and think, you know what? This is such a great game. This can be organized, and it could be fun for a lot of people. How did your interest in cornhole evolve into the American Cornhole League?
Yeah, so very similar to how our players got started, either at a barbecue or a tailgate. Mine started at a tailgate at NC State games. I'm third generation Wolfpack, and would tailgate with my family before football games, and got introduced to it as a tailgating game like most people. And then as we started doing some sponsor activations with a variety of cornhole games, I just saw people playing cornhole a lot more intensely than these other tailgating games. And I was wondering why that was, and started talking to some of the players and realized that, hey, tournaments were being formed. These guys are wanting to play for cash. They're practicing, hours a week. They want to go out to local bars and play during the week. And so I watched it for about 2 years, talked to a lot of the competitive players, and became convinced that it could be a legitimate sport.
Now, as I said, I've been watching a lot of it on TV, and I really love it. I can't get enough of it, I think. And I want to ask you about a big media deal that you did. You signed a deal with CBS Sports. Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah, so we're doing we're calling it the ACL Pro Shootout Series, and it's a different format than what we have on ESPN. It's 8 qualifying events plus a championship event. So we have pro women's singles, pro men's singles, and then we have doubles that is a gender neutral division. So we have men and women competing in the doubles. And basically, you have to win a qualifier to get into the championship event. So again, there's 8 qualifiers, and then there'll be one championship event in the middle of September to crown our overall pro shootout champions for the season. It's a round limit format, so it's not the traditional play to 21. So it's pretty intense. So, the score could be, 6-5 after 10 rounds, and the game's over. So it's a single elimination format too. So it's going to be super intense, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
When I was watching it on TV, something about cornhole really drew me in, and I'm sure CBS saw that quality in the sport. What do you think the attraction is, and what makes cornhole so interesting to fans who are watching it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they start to tune in and they can relate to it because they picked up a bag and thrown the bag at a tailgate. And then they sit there and they watch these people and they're like, wait, I can't do that with the bag when I throw it. Right. And so we're like, or there's some people that say, oh, I think I could do that. I think I can compete with these guys. Either way, I think they kind of get sucked in and interested in it. And because we're able to play multiple rounds, so typically we'll play like a semifinals and finals during a 2-hour broadcast. We're able to build that storyline through the broadcast. The fans start to get to know the players a little bit, and they start, picking out someone that they want to cheer for or someone that they want to root against. And so I think that we've done a good job from a television standpoint of kind of sucking people in with some storylines, and we want to continue to improve on that. We want to continue to promote our pro players so that fans can get to know these people better and eventually start gambling on them.
I got to tell you, Stacey, I was channel surfing, and I came across it, and I stopped, and I was like, oh, my God, what is this? This is amazing. I loved it. I mean, and I think I saw it on ESPN. I mean, will ESPN still carry some of the events in the future, or is it all moving to CBS Sports?
Yeah, no, so ESPN, we have that's our World Championship Series. Okay. So if you equate that to like golf or tennis that has, 4 major events a season and then like some type of championship event, our World Championships are with ESPN, and that's our traditional play to 21, gender neutral singles and doubles for our pro division. That was what we do on ESPN. So, it's basically 2 different tours. So we have our ESPN tour and we have our CBS tour, and they're different formats, different types of gameplay. The ESPN is it's a season-long, basically year-long point season format. So our pro players are accumulating points to go into the championship versus the CBS being a qualifier, almost like a sudden death type feel to it. So just, like I said, 2 different structures, but still a lot of fun. Both of them are.
Now, you mentioned now people can bet on the events. I mean, one of the major deals that you signed recently was a partnership with Draftkings where people can actually bet on some of the events you were talking about. Tell us something about the deal with Draftkings and what can fans expect from that relationship? Yeah,
so we were super pleased to announce our official sports betting partner with Draftkings here going into this season so that they could start creating lines around our sport. So we've gone through the process and been approved by several states, and so people can actually go out and gamble on our events. Similar to how people would wager on golf or tennis, where people can place wagers on the overall winner of our singles and doubles events. They can go out and do that. So DraftKings also offers some free-to-play pools for people. So we always post a couple of free-to-play pools going into our events that people can have fun with and win some free money from DraftKings.
One thing I watched was a DraftKings pregame show. I think it was before your event in Wichita, Kansas. Can we expect more content like that from DraftKings in the future?
Yeah. We actually do around our ESPN events. We're doing a dedicated telecast for DraftKings in addition to that kind of pregame show, that teaser show where you get to hear from Trey Ryder and Sean Latham, $20 Chef, and you get some insight on the players. And if you're not familiar with all the players, it gives you some good insight, and they have their picks on who they think they're going to win. And after the first 2 shows, they've been pretty accurate with their analysis. So I would encourage people to follow Trey Ryder and Sean Latham if they're interested in and gambling on cornhole.
I'm glad you brought that up because sports betting is new to a lot of people around this country, and certainly betting on cornhole is a new thing for a lot of people. Is one of the challenges is educating people about the players and the rules so we know how to bet on the sport?
Yeah. So we're investing a lot, and we'll be rolling out a lot of new features for people to be able to have better access to the stats around our sport, get to know what those stats exactly mean, be able to show people trends on our players and follow along live. So, one of the unique things about cornhole versus say a tennis where you may have, a day or two, a tournament may play out over 2 weeks, right? The U.S. Open would play out over 2 weeks for tennis, right? We do all that in 2 days.
Okay.
And we have, we'll have 64 matches going on at one time, and we have a massive scoreboard where people can follow the scores live on what's going on each one of the courts with each one of the players. And so it can be pretty intense, and but we have to do make improvements in how we're communicating all that information to our fans, and we want to arm them with as much information as possible so that they can have fun wagering on our sport, playing fantasy, or just following along on one of our digital or national linear television broadcasts.
Now, sports betting rules are different in every state. I mean, right now, which states can I place a bet on cornhole?
So that's an evolving list.
Okay.
I believe it's New Jersey is one of the biggest ones. I think we just got Pennsylvania and Colorado and Indiana, I believe. So they're rolling out now.
By the way, that question was purely selfish because I'm sitting in New Jersey and I want to make sure I can bet on.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I can bet on cornhole. I mean, do you plan on offering it in other states as well? Is this a continuing list that'll be rolled out soon?
Yeah, and that's where DraftKings has been great support for us, getting us legalized in the different states. As you go through this process, as a niche sport and a sport that a lot of gaming commissions, might not be immediately familiar with.
Yeah.
Each state has their own process for approval. And we've gotten great support from DraftKings in helping us navigate through all that. It's certainly been a learning experience for me. And we're just, hopefully we want to, anywhere where there's sports betting, we want to be legalized in that state. So we're aggressively moving towards that goal so that hopefully by our World Championships in August, any state that has legal sports betting, you'll be able to bet on cornhole.
Now, you mentioned DraftKings is offering free-to-play games with regard to cornhole. Can you tell us something about that? Because I think these are a great thing for people to get used to betting on cornhole and learn to bet on cornhole. Tell us something about the free-to-play games.
Yeah, the free-to-play games, usually it's like 10 questions, and it's things like, who do you think is gonna win more games during the event, Matt Guy or Jamie Graham, or how many players are going to have over 10 points per round average, and you get multiple choice questions around that. So it's something that you can participate and play even if you don't know anything about cornhole. It's good that you can make some choices in these free to play pools, and then you can follow along the action to see how your picks come out as our event unfolds.
One of the things that people say about sports betting is that it's great for fan engagement and a way for people to get more involved with the sport. What are you hoping for the sport of cornhole with this deal with DraftKings?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that, and so it's been, since I was on a mission to make cornhole a professional sport, I knew that having legalized gambling on our sport was going to be key for our growth and to develop, I would say, that next tier of fans or that next tier of fan base. So we've obviously done a fantastic job of developing some really hardcore cornhole fans. But, a lot of the sports gamblers are casual fans of a lot of sports. And, that's where a big fan base is, obviously, for the NFL and other major sports that may not want to openly admit how important sports gambling is to them, but I'm willing to admit it. Sports gambling is really important to us, and I believe is going to be a critical component in the growth of our casual fan base going forward.
Tell us about the American Cornhole League's events themselves. Are they single player? Are they teams? Tell us how these events are set up.
Yes, we have primarily we have a singles tournament and doubles tournament similar to what you would find in tennis. We also have a team format that we call a crew cup. That's a 4-person team. We do another team event called the World Cup at our World Championships that has 16 players on a team. So one of the cool things about cornhole and what we're doing with the sport is we're creating a lot of different formats, both team and individual, singles, doubles, and team formats that are a lot of fun for people.
And I've seen your prize pools, and they're amazing. Tell us something about what the players can win if they do very well in these events. Yeah,
so our minimum publicly guaranteed prize pool for ACL Pro players is $500,000.
Whoa!
To date, within our league season to date, we've paid out over $1.6 million to cornhole players all across the country, and that's at a variety of different skill levels. So, we do pay out at our other tournaments for advanced players and competitive players, and we expect to cross the 2 million threshold here this season pretty easily within the next month or two.
Certainly what we see on television are some of the top cornhole players in the world, but if someone wants to get involved in competitive cornhole, how do they get started? I mean, do you have amateur events? Are there collegiate events? How does one get started in the world of competitive cornhole?
Yeah, so you go to iPlayACL.com and you find a local director in your area and you sign up for one of those events, and that's the best way to get started is to go out and start playing against these players and see where you're at skill level wise. And we have a ton of players that, they don't have a desire to become professional at the sport, and that's great. They can still go out to their local leagues and have a lot of fun playing in ACL events, but there's a path for anyone that wants to become a professional cornhole player. It starts at the local level. You play in our system for a season, and you can earn enough points to qualify to be a pro player the next season. So we have multiple ways that people can qualify to become a pro, and so it's all about finding the right path for you.
I have to tell you, one of the great resources for cornhole is your website. I mean, when people go there, what can they expect to see? Walk us through some of the features of your website.
Yeah, so not only, obviously, you can see information about our events coming up and our pros from the national level, but it has a directory of all of our local directors, our local events that are going on. You can find events in your area, obviously rules of the game, the equipment guidelines. That's something that's really important. There's a lot of, I would say, could be some misconceptions out there about levels of equipment in the general public, and so we set the equipment standards for the sport. So we designate equipment levels as ACL Pro, ACL Competitive, or ACL Rec, so that consumers out there can know, if they're buying an ACL Rec product, they know that that's not the level of equipment that our pros are playing with. But if they want to play with the best, then they need to look for the ACL Pro mark on any cornhole equipment that they buy. And so we don't like it when people are out there peddling what we would consider to be a rec product that performance-wise is not up to standards to what people see on television. And so education on the equipment market is definitely one of the great things about our website.
One of the other things I learned by looking at your website is that you have something for all skill levels, which is a very rare thing for a competitive sport. Do you think that one of the attractions for cornhole is that you can begin to play and get better and rise through the ranks to possibly become a very competitive player that actually possibly earns prize money? I mean, that's so attractive for a lot of players.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone can play, anyone can win, and we do have a prize money structure for the different skill levels, which is pretty cool, and I think unique for casual sports. I don't know, like I grew up as a tennis player, and I take a lot of what we do from tennis, but I was out there playing in local leagues and things like that, but not looking to make any money. I was just doing it for fun. But people are able to play in local league events as a competitive player, and still maybe win a little bit of beer money in local leagues. and that sort of thing. It's pretty cool.
Also on your website, there's a link for the ACL Digital Network. What is that, and what can people expect to see when they go there to the Cornhole Digital Network?
Yeah, so obviously our main events are the ones that we're putting on ESPN and CBS, but around that, typically our national events are 2 to 3 day events where we're playing cornhole 10 to 12 hours a day. So a lot of the lead-in matches, the earlier stage matches leading into the finals, we will stream on our digital network. And so people can follow along the action live. Usually we may have 3 to 5 simultaneous feeds going on during the early rounds. So people can tune in and watch all sorts of players and watch their journey towards the finals, which is pretty cool. And then we're doing some educational content about how to improve yourself, your skill level, doing some shows and just general insight on the ACL, our upcoming season, what's coming up, talk about statistics of our players, who the hot players are, get into some of our player backgrounds and things like that. So you're going to see more specialty shows coming out from us on our digital network here in the near future.
I also noticed that you have something called the World Cornhole Organization. What are your plans to make cornhole a global sport through the WCO?
The WCO is a nonprofit that we've established to become the international federation for the sport to make cornhole an Olympic sport. So we've done 3 world championships so far through the WCO, and we've had players from as far as Australia come over and compete. And so cornhole is in the really early stages of international growth, but we believe that it's going to take off quickly, and our goal is to aggressively make it an Olympic sport, because I think people will enjoy watching it as an Olympic sport. But in order to do that, we've got to get it firmly established in other countries.
Now, over the past year, what has really hurt the sports industry has been the pandemic. How has the Cornhole and the American Cornhole League weathered the pandemic, and how has Cornhole adapted to this new environment for sports?
Yeah, we were fortunate to pivot during the pandemic because our sport has some natural social distancing to it just by the way the gameplay works. So that ended up working out in our benefit with the way that we were able to adjust our rules and convince ESPN that we could be the first live sport back on television. And so we're coming up, I think, on our 1-year anniversary here in May, where we set on a 7-week journey across the country during the pandemic and did 7 4-hour shows on ESPN main network with essentially what became the pro shootout format that we're doing on CBS this year. So what we ended up pivoting to during the pandemic ended up evolving into this ACL pro shootout that's on CBS here this summer.
What are some of the upcoming events that we should be looking forward to from the American Cornhole League, and where can we see them?
Yeah, so we have our bag brawl on ESPN coming up April 30th through May the 1st. You can check out that action on the ACL Digital Network, ESPN3 and ESPN and ESPN2 during that weekend. And then May 15th is our first ACL Pro Shootout qualifier in Erie, Pennsylvania. And that will be on CBS Network and CBS that weekend of May the 15th. And then June the 4th from Mohegan Sun will be our second ACL Pro Shootout on CBS Sports Network and CBS.
Stacey, we're running out of time, but can you tell people how they can find out more about the American Cornhole League and keep up with the events that you're holding in the future?
Yeah, just visit us at iPlayACL.com. You can integrate with all of our social channels and our ACL Digital Network from there, and I appreciate everyone tuning in and watching and becoming fans of cornhole.
Stacey Moore, founder and commissioner of the American Cornhole League, thanks so much for coming on and telling us all about this great sport and how we can watch it and bet on it. It's an incredible sport, and it's only going to get bigger. So please come back on and keep us updated on what's next for the American Cornhole League.
Anytime. I really appreciate you having me.
All right, stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at beangenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to beangenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE. And By the Numbers is sponsored by Play Sugar House Online Casino and Sportsbook in New Jersey. Sign up at playsugarhouse.com/pike and get a first deposit match of up to $250. Enjoy the casino experience online. Play Sugar House offers over 400 games online, slots, table games, hey, even bingo. It's like being in a casino without leaving your home. That's playsugarhouse.com/pike to get your first deposit match of up to $250 today. Must be 21 years or older and physically present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 800gambler.org.
Okay, in this week's edition of By the Numbers is where I throw out a number to Dave and he tries to guess what they are, and then we let the number tell the story.
You know, I've been getting a couple of them. Because I've been reading the news story.
I've been dumbing them down.
Okay. Maybe that's it.
No. You've actually been reading a lot more of these things because I'm actually not trying to throw you off anymore. I'm actually trying to get some good stories.
You were trying to throw me off?
I was trying to get some weird numbers out there to begin with. So I was just, I'm actually looking at certain things here. And I'm going to start off probably with the simplest one, 559.
You start off with such a weird number. I don't even know what that means.
I know. I was BSing you there. But 559.
559. Can you give me $559?
The percentage.
559%? No,
yes.
I definitely don't know it.
It's the percentage year over year of sports betting app downloads on the iOS platform due to March Madness.
No, wait, okay. This past March Madness, 559%
more
increase
than the previous year. Than the previous March Madness, I should say.
Wow. Okay. So the 2021 March Madness
was 559% more than the 2019.
2020 March Madness.
They didn't have one last year.
Oh, that's true. 2019 March Madness.
COVID.
Wow. Okay.
But
that's still a huge number.
It's a huge growth number.
Wow. Well, because you know why? There's more states with sports betting. Yep. There's more sports betting apps. I can't believe the amount of providers that are out there. So.
FanDuel had 36% of the market. DraftKings was 28%. BetMGM was third with 12%. Penn National Gaming came in at single-digit download share. That's the Barstool Sports app. So they're still growing. So probably next year will be even more. Monthly active users for FanDuel and DraftKings both rose about 12% in March from February of this year to reach record levels.
Wow. Okay.
So March Madness does impact a lot of these downloads. I wonder,
There's so much to bet on with March Madness. You can bet on the whole thing. You can bet on one conference. You can bet on individual games, and then they have the in-play betting. It's an enormous betting activity.
I am actually waiting to see the Google Store numbers, the Play Store numbers, because this was the first March Madness. The Google Store, the Play Store, whatever you want to call it, was able to do gambling apps.
Oh, that's true, yeah. You know what? I think I got the BetMGM app off of Google. I didn't even realize.
You mean Play Store? I keep saying
Play
Google
Store.
Google Store, whatever it is.
Was it Play Store?
Play Store.
Google Play Store?
Google Play Store.
Is that the correct terminology? Okay, yeah. I think that was the first betting app I actually got off of the Google Play Store.
Well, after last year, everything's going to be up. The year before that, there weren't as many.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would be really shocked to find out that the Play Store did not have a huge amount of downloads because of March Madness. I haven't seen any numbers released yet. This was a Bank of America study on the iOS operating platform. So I don't know
it's
exactly.
It's interesting that
Play
Bank
Store.
of America is
they
doing
do that
the
all
study.
the time.
Really?
They do that all the time.
Interesting.
Most of the banks have their own divisions where they do research and stats and everything.
Okay.
I mean, you got Deutsche doing it all the time. You got some of the other ones, but Bank of America always throws out these statistics. They do a lot of gaming, even though they don't want you to deposit. If you think about that one, that one doesn't even make sense.
Well, yeah,
to
some
me.
banks don't like. Some banks don't like getting involved in the gambling apps, whether it be online casinos, online poker, or online sports betting. Some banks just want to get involved. Don't want to get involved. That's why I'm surprised a bank actually did this study.
Well, I'm surprised that this bank did that study because they are so far out of the realm of gaming in terms of being able to use their accounts to do anything.
Well, I think I've used their account.
I've never been able to use a Bank of America account.
Really?
Nope. I'm trying to think. You got me thinking now. No, I've never used a Bank of America account.
No, I thought. I'm
sitting here.
I was
sorry
actually,
for the dead air there.
No,
but,
I was waiting
actually
for,
sitting there thinking.
I was waiting for the next number. I thought you were done with this.
No, I was just sitting there. You had me thinking, and I've never.
No, I think I've used Bank of America for an online casino or something like that. But I also used TD Bank for an online casino.
Wait. You know what? Now that I think about it, wasn't there a time at one point where you were able to use Bank of and then they pulled out?
I don't know because
I can't remember that far back anymore.
It changes all the time. So because when we first started in New Jersey, it was 2013. So I can't remember what banks wanted you to do it or didn't want to do it.
I can't follow them now.
It was like 7-8 years ago. So I don't even know what banks.
Next number. Now I'm moving on to the
now
next
you're
number.
moving on to the next.
See, I said next number. That's a clue.
You paused, and I thought you were going to wind up with a good number.
I had to think about that. The next number is 13.
You could have paused more because I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
It's another parlay.
Oh, is this parlay. A 13-team parlay some guy did?
13-team parlay.
All right.
And again, I did this last week too. But this one, 6 NBA, 5 MLB, 2 NHL.
Okay.
Not a big number, $250 bet into $45,000. Not like it's a gobs of money coming in.
Well, look, I mean, the 13 parlay is one thing, but the amount of money you spend to do it, $250 is a lot for a 13-team parlay. I mean, I'll do a 13-team parlay, but I'm not going to risk more than $5 for it.
Well, it depends on what you have in your bankroll.
Yeah, well, no, but I'm not going to risk more than $5 or $10 for it because, it's a 13-team parlay. What are the chances of that hitting?
And a lot of them were favorites. And if you look at the breakdown, they had the Raptors minus 210 over the Warriors, Celtics minus 700 over the Rockets, Grizzlies minus 250 over the Timberwolves, Jazz minus 1,000 over the Bulls, and Suns 1,100 over the Thunder. The only questionable one out there was the Hawks Pelicans. He had an over/under. That was the only total. Everything else were all moneyline favorites.
Oh, okay.
Same thing with the MLB. Except for 2 games where he had the run line, 8.5 for 2 games. And then the Flames were both favorites.
Oh, he went with over-unders on the...
Two baseball games.
2 baseball games.
And he went with 1 over-under on the NBA. But everything else was all favorites.
Hey, you know what? Still, $250.
Takes a little skill to pick the right ones there.
Well, sure, but that takes guts. I mean, $250 isn't a small bet, especially if it's a 13-team parlay.
No,
like I said, if I'm going to do a 13-team parlay, I'm not doing more than $5 because because let me tell you, if I'm doing a 13-team parlay, that's more of a what the hell kind of a moment for me anyway, because if I'm really seriously betting, I'm betting individual teams. I'm trying to make decisions more kind of an academic kind of way, but this is more of a buying a lottery ticket kind of thing.
I think when you cross the line between the sports, it becomes a little bit more iffy. But again, if he stayed with just the NBA and just did the favorites,
when you cross,
he had a better chance.
When you
of
cross
that.
more than 4-team parlay, then that is kind of iffy.
But that always impresses me more so. If somebody does
it's a lottery ticket. I
mean, it impresses me that someone actually won a multi-sport.
It
parlay.
impresses me that he spent $250 on a 13-team parlay.
That's just dumb to me. I would.
Hey,
never
we're talking
do that
about it.
Yeah,
good for the person whoever placed the bet. But
that
took guts. That's more guts than I have.
But I like the fact it was multi-team, multi-sport more so than multi-team. This could have been a single game parlay too, which actually would have been impressive too if he had done that. But the fact that NBA, MLB, and NHL was actually, I always like those types of parlays more so than the other straight, one sport versus the other types of parlays. Last number is 300. And no, it's not the movie starring King Leonidas over there.
I know what 300 is. It non-sports related?
Yeah, I think this was all over the news too.
Yeah,
I think a lot of news.
Is this the face mask?
The new mask designed by rapper Will.i.am and Honeywell.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, that looks pretty intense. I saw the pictures of it, and it has music, right? It has earphones in it.
Well, it doesn't have music.
I mean, it has the ability to play music, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It's called the Super Mask.
Super Mask
with an X instead of an S.
Oh, XUPE mask. Okay.
Say Super Mask, but it's an X.
Okay.
So they put a little emphasis on the thing, but like xylophone. But it includes silicone face seal, an elastic strap, dual 3-speed fans.
Whoa.
Yeah. High efficiency particulate air filtration and replaceable filters that you can swap out every 30 days.
Wow.
Problem is they don't give you the filters. You have to buy the filters.
I didn't know
the replacement filters.
I didn't know it was that involved. But
it also features active noise canceling audio and microphone capabilities, Bluetooth connectivity, LED lights, and a magnetic earbud docking system.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Okay.
The face mask has not been cleared by the FDA, but it has received the FDA's emergency use authorization for use as a source controlled by the general public as well as by healthcare providers and healthcare settings to help prevent the spread of infection or illness during the COVID pandemic. I had to read that exactly because it was just such a weird wording on that. They're not authorized by the FDA, but they're authorized by the FDA.
No, it looks pretty intense. I mean, if that doesn't keep a disease out, I don't think anything will.
No, I think the disease would be afraid of it. But mask has an external charging port as well.
Oh, you charge the entire mask.
It's a 7-hour battery.
Wow, okay.
Rechargeable, obviously. And it can be worn while being charged. So if you have a little battery pack, you can actually walk around charging it.
Wow, okay.
The mask will sell for $299 in 2 sizes, small, medium, or medium large. I guess I'm saying it right, Super Mask. And replaceable filters for the mask will be available in a 3-pack for $27.99.
See, something like that. If you had to take a flight somewhere, that would be perfect. Not only do you have your mask, but you have your music and your radio already linked
Would the
into
plane make you shut it off, though? They make you shut your
Does it
cell
have
phones off?
Have an airplane mode?
I
didn't even think of that one.
I mean, I would think something
I
has
would
to be
guess
prepared for that. I don't know.
You'd be okay with it. I mean, I don't think it takes a lot of power.
Well, the battery lasts 7 hours, and the filter lasts 30 days.
Well,
I wonder if
I'm also talking about I'm assuming the Bluetooth music inputs kind of thing.
I'm assuming you'd probably be able to hook into the plane's sound system.
I don't even know if that's even possible.
I mean, so there's got to be. I mean, some of them make you shut off the phone still.
Yeah, I know. You put it on airplane mode.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. I wonder if this mask has airplane mode.
I wonder if the fan makes noise.
You see, I didn't even know it had a fan.
I mean, it's just a weird mask to design.
I wonder if it does make noise. Yeah.
I mean, I
got to tell you, it must be the most comfortable thing in the world. You have
I would
a fan,
hope so.
you have
I would hope
filters,
so.
you got your music or your talk station or your podcast
phone, or you're talking on your phone.
You know?
I don't know. It seems a little excessive. Maybe if it came out earlier in the pandemic, it'd probably be a huge hit. But right now,
I think it looks pretty cool, though. You know, that was pretty intense.
It looks like something out of Star Wars.
Yeah, no, you look like Boba Fett.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, stick around, because right after this, we have the Turnpike Sports Book Report, where we talk about what's going on in the sports books across the country. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Attention seniors with Medicare. This is an important announcement. Did you know you may qualify for a monthly Social Security rebate? Did you know you may qualify for a $0 monthly premium? That's right. You may qualify to get $135 added back to your Social Security check each month. Just call the Medicare benefits line to get your options. It's a free call. You may also qualify for $0 premiums, dental coverage, vision coverage, hearing coverage, and prescription drug coverage. With this type of plan, you don't need Medicare supplement insurance. Call now, because you deserve to get the most from your Medicare benefits, including a rebate to your Social Security check each month. Agents are standing by with free information regarding Medicare benefits. It's a free call with no obligation, but it could mean big savings for you. Call the Medicare benefits line now to see if you're eligible for a Social Security rebate.
Call 800-574-6770. 800-574-6770.
Now that we're home more than ever, we need to feel safe. Call it a sign of the times or the world we now live in. What do you want to keep safe? The people in your life? What do you want to protect? Your possessions, the things that belong to you, the things that you've worked hard for. Wouldn't it be nice to have tested, trusted 24/7 protection? Peace of mind, real protection that's always there for you and your whole family? Well, now you can with one of our state-of-the-art home security systems. Everyone thinks their home is safe until the unexpected happens. Help protect your home and loved ones today with the affordable next generation in home security. To help keep your family and property safe, call 1-800-520-4068 now. Representatives are standing by to assist you. That's 1-800-250-4068. 1-800-520-4068.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. If your employer doesn't supply health care coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private health care is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. To get the coverage you need, call the number on the screen now.
Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casinos now, your favorite sports book available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E, and you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and 20 bonus dollars at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome, everybody, to the latest edition of the Book Report, where we talk about the different state and national sports betting numbers. We also talk about whether or not there's been records set or not, or no record set. We have deals to talk about, legislation, both state and national, that we talk about for sports betting, as well as launches. And we'll start off right now with some national sports betting numbers. The national handle for February was just $282,000 short of the $4 billion mark.
Yeah, I guess we were all waiting for Illinois, and I guess everyone thought with the Illinois numbers, it'd be over $4 billion for the handle. But
Illinois let everyone down.
It just fell a little short.
Illinois came in with their February sports betting numbers at $509.8 million in handle, which led to the $282,000 shy of the $4 billion mark. They had a record January in Illinois, but their February was terrible.
Okay.
Relatively speaking. I mean, $509.8 million handle is nothing to sneeze at there. But, again, it's one of those things where they were hoping to get another consecutive month at $4 billion. Did not happen. And, honestly, with February, with Illinois removing that in the mobile registration, going back to the in-person registration.
When does that start up again?
That started this month in April.
Okay.
See, we're in April, but we're talking February because Illinois releases their numbers
I know.
2 months later.
So in Illinois, what you're telling me is now, in order to complete your registration for online sports betting, you have to go to the physical sports book.
We're back to going to the physical sports book
now.
to that. You can actually start the process on your phone.
Yeah.
But you have to go to the casino. It's just like Nevada.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see.
Well, they want people coming through those doors. That's what it is.
Online wagering accounted for over 96% of the overall handle in February for Illinois. Revenue of $35.4 million, win rate of just under 7%. Taxes brought in $5.8 million. That's state and county together. The one thing I noticed if you go back to the national side of things, Illinois is now the number 3 state in terms of February handle. You have New Jersey with $742.9 million, Nevada with $553.8, Illinois comes in at $509.8 million. The other big state rounding out the top 4 was Pennsylvania with $509.5 million.
Okay, makes sense.
So again, everyone is looking for this $4 billion mark. Came close again. I guess you can probably say that was a very good month again.
I really think you're going to get it in March, which with March Madness going on, I think you got a really good shot.
Well, you got to remember,
$4 billion.
Everybody's February numbers were affected by the Super Bowl in January because most of the betting for the Super Bowl does occur in January.
Yeah, and the Super Bowl was the 2nd or the 3rd in February.
Exactly.
So,
But those are the February numbers. Came close. Again, New Jersey led everywhere in February for handle revenue. New Jersey brought in $46.2 million. Illinois was second for revenue. And over for taxes, New Jersey came in with $5.8 million for the state. Pennsylvania, $5.56. Illinois, $5.31 million. And Oregon rounded out the top 4 in taxes for February, $2.68. March numbers. We had 2 states reporting their March numbers, Iowa and Oregon. Oregon took it on the chin in February. Their handle for March was down almost 19% from February to $24.05 million.
Now this is for March?
This is March now.
Okay, this is for March.
Illinois always throws everything off when you're a month behind with everything. But year-over-year handle in Oregon was up 15%, but like I said, it was down almost 19% month to month. Revenue, $1.37 million, down almost 50% from the month before.
Okay.
Win rate of 5.71, second lowest all time for that state. Let's see. Top sports. Basketball, $15.15 million. Soccer, $2.76. Hockey, $2.02. mixed martial arts MMA 1.06, and tennis 1.01 million. First time table tennis has not broken into the top 5 for a state for Oregon.
Interesting. I know Oregon, like Colorado, they love their table tennis. So I'm surprised
is there a
that's
season?
off the. I have no idea.
I don't know if there's a table tennis season.
No idea.
That's still swirling around in my head there. Average bet was $31.43, and total bets placed was about 765,000. That's the number of bets placed. Iowa came in with a really good month in February, 161.44
So this
million.
is February.
I'm sorry. See, Illinois skills for screwing me up. March sports betting handle of 161.44 million. Mobile handle was about 86% of that total handle. They came in with about 139 million in the online handle. The handle overall, total handle, was up 12.4% from the month before. They came in with $13.45 million in revenue for the month of March. March revenue was up almost 75% from the month before. So they did a great job on revenue. Hold was 8.33%. That's almost 3 points higher than February. Kind of interesting that Oregon went down. A lot of other places went up for March too. So kind of interesting numbers there. The one other note, I saw this for Colorado, and this was in terms. A lot of different media outlets were reporting this. The tax revenue, the projected tax revenue for the fiscal year starting July 2020 to June 2021, because we're coming up on that. Mm-hmm. The projected tax revenue for the state was somewhere between 9.7 million and 11.2. They are now, after March, at $4.5 million in tax revenue. So I would say they're not going to hit those projected goals.
Probably not.
So it was kind of interesting. Again, this is another projection. Most of them don't even are realistic. They perfect vacuum kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's go to this couple launches. It's actually being reported by a bunch of different media outlets that Superbook is now going to get the third Meadowlands license.
Really? So that's the rumor right now.
That's the rumor.
That's what's going all around. Superbook. I like Superbook.
That is going to be interesting when football season rolls around, because they're the ones that do that huge football contest.
Oh, great. I would love that.
So I don't know if they're going to be able to do it in New Jersey, but they do it in Las Vegas. A lot of people do it through the proxy services that are out there. So it's kind of going to be kind of interesting. I wonder if the Vegas numbers or the Nevada numbers for that Superbook contest would be effective if this actually happens.
I got to tell you, I hope New Jersey gets it, because I always love the pictures and I love the stories coming out of that contest. So, I hope Superbook does come number one, and I hope they bring the contest with them.
Well, let's see what happens. I mean, they've been talking about coming to Jersey for quite a while.
So this would be Meadowlands, right?
Meadowlands. They join FanDuel and PointsBet.
Okay.
So be interesting to see. I mean, that's a great combination.
By the way, I have a phone charger from Superbook. Yeah, I think we met them at the I forgot where the
Ice North America.
Yeah,
in Boston.
It was a convention. They had the
Jay Cornegay.
The great thing is they give all these things, these knickknacks away, and one was a phone charger, and I love this phone charger. So they have a customer in me just because they have great phone chargers.
Well, another big launch. I guess you can call it a launch. TransUnion, the credit agency,
sure,
has announced they will be doing a subsidiary called TransUnion Gaming Services.
Okay.
So it's identity fraud protection, other credit services for the gaming industry.
Great.
They're going to help police everything, with the sign-ups and making sure identities are proper. There's no leaks of identities.
Great.
For people registering. So kind of a unique little thing to see going on. That's a B2B kind of thing, not a B2C. You may not even see it as a consumer betting on some of these things, but
it's good to know that they're there.
Exactly. That's what that's for.
It's protection.
Also, let's go over to legislation. I know we're going to talk about New York, but let's hit the first state to legalize sports betting in 2021, and that was Wyoming.
Yes, Wyoming. Welcome to the family, Wyoming.
I was actually surprised they were the first ones to actually pass sports betting and get it going.
Well, I'm glad they did. I mean, it should be interesting to see what their favorite sports to bet on in Wyoming is?
Well, they are mobile only.
Mobile only?
No
okay.
retail.
So they're more like Tennessee, right?
They're more like Tennessee, more like what New Hampshire is. No, not New Hampshire. I'm sorry, Virginia.
Okay.
With mobile sports betting, all that stuff. They're going to have mobile wagering only. You're going to be able to do professional, college, and Olympic sports.
Great.
10% tax. And let's see, I want to get my notes right. $25,000 application fee and a $100,000 license fee to cover 5 years.
That's if you want to be an operator in there.
They are among the lowest in the country.
They certainly
so
are.
They are looking for business.
By comparison, I know we're going to talk about New York in a little bit, but how much is New York application fee for operators?
$25 million.
$25 million for New York operators. So,
well, I'm still confused about New York and how that's going to work.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Wyoming thing. Am I looking at this right? The legal wagering age is 18?
That's correct.
Wow, okay.
Fourth state, fifth jurisdiction.
To allow 18-year-olds. Okay.
Montana, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and D.C. are the other ones.
Okay.
To allow 18-year-olds and older. So they're going to have a minimum of 5 licenses, no max, no cap. So you're going to see Wyoming actually almost be like the Wild West again, where you just go. There are going to be tons of sports books flooding that market.
Great. Yeah.
They're hoping September 1st.
So September 1st, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fast.
It's very fast. I mean, but
can be done. Can be done.
Sure,
probably
it can be done. Yeah, no, because if it's online only, I think it can be done a lot quicker. And would you say September 1st, which is
September
a great
1st.
time right before NFL?
Yep.
Right before NFL and college football.
NFL is always the target for these states because I know Connecticut is trying to do that as well. I don't know if they're going to do it. Speaking of New England, since I just mentioned Connecticut. Maine has reintroduced another sports betting bill after the other one got vetoed.
I have a feeling that's going nowhere, but we'll see.
I don't know.
New Hampshire's doing very well with sports betting, so maybe that might spur on Maine to really get going in their sports betting industry.
Well, right now, the first bill, SB 1352, is just for mobile that don't have to be tied into any of the casinos. Untethered.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are 2 other bills that are just introduced recently that are tethered. You have to have a casino partner.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is for untethered online casinos, online sportsbooks. 10% tax, $2,000 license fee for retail, $20,000 license fee for mobile. So again, cheap.
Yeah.
Maryland changed their sports betting classes a little bit. They've got an uncapped license structure now. There's a whole bunch of different classes. They made room for small businesses and minorities, as well as looking at having the stadiums do every day instead of just game day,
which is good. Which I like.
But I think
which is smart.
The important thing is the uncapped.
Yeah,
because that is going to expand that market significantly, and especially since they made a small business exemption or a small business class for people to apply for. That allows probably a lot more competition against the big-time sports books in the state. Now let's hit New York. I am just shocked at the way New York came out with this, to be honest with you.
I got to tell you.
It's kind of a mess, but it isn't. It's one of those.
It
I don't
seems
know.
like it's changing every day. We're seeing more developments every day. I mean, we're recording this, and probably in a couple days when this comes out, there's going to be new information that's not in our discussion. But it's fascinating to see how this is evolving and how these terms and what people think should be doing in New York is coming about. So, it's very interesting.
The important thing is it takes its lead from the New Hampshire model. A main platform, but New York is doing 2 main platforms with 4 skins each.
Mm-hmm.
Insert your own joke there. $25 million licensing fee or application fee,
as compared to the $25,000 that you have to pay for Wyoming.
Yes.
So in Wyoming it's $25,000. In New York it's $25 million application fee.
But if you think about it, the reasoning is you'll make that $25 million up quick.
Sure.
In New York with that population there.
Sure.
But the tax rate, you may be seeing these 2 platform providers paying 50% of their tax rate,
which is enormous.
Which is what Draftkings does up in New Hampshire.
Yeah, I mean,
it's big
though.
Yeah,
that's big.
That's what Cuomo was seeing when they were looking at trying to come up with this. Most of the legislators wanted the open bidding process, multiple licenses, that sort of situation. They didn't get that. They got 2 licenses, 2 platform licenses.
Okay.
And again, it'll be interesting to see how this evolves. You're right. This is just starting.
Yeah, I think this is going to evolve. What's happening right now might not be what the final situation is with regard to sports betting in New York, but this is a fast-moving story, and it's a very interesting story because once New York gets sports betting, I think that's a game changer for a lot of things. But the number one media market, it'll probably be one of the top sports betting markets as well. So.
Again, you're going to have to see who gets cut out.
Sure.
And again, the Meadowlands may be the most affected by this in New Jersey.
I don't know. A lot of people want to go to a sports book to watch a game, and that really in the New York City area, that's the only physical sports book there.
Yeah.
I mean, are they planning on building another sports book in the New York metropolitan area in New York? I don't know. Maybe.
They may get a New York City casino out of this. I don't know, but they've been talking about that for a while now. But again,
I read reports where some developers want a Manhattan casino, which I can't see that happening. I mean, the traffic is horrible in normal situations in New York anyway. Can you imagine throw in a casino?
Well, safe to say this is a developing story.
Yeah.
Put it at that. And last but not least, let's hit a couple deals since we're running short on time. And again, if we haven't hit upon a story that is in my notes here, we always put up the entire book report on our blog. Go to turnpikesportsradio.com, click on the blog button. You'll see the stories we're talking about and some stories we haven't talked about on the blog itself. Two deals. Better View, which is a odds and stats content provider company.
Mm-hmm.
They did a deal with Bolero, which runs bowling lanes across the country.
All right.
Also, Bolero is also, I think, part owner of the Pro Bowlers Association.
I've been watching bowling a lot. I mean, I kind of been enjoying it. I like the graphics that they have now on this side. They can show where the ball is going and how it curves and the angle and degree it hits the pins. I think it's amazing now with bowling.
Well, they have done a deal with Better View where when you go into the Bolero branded lanes or whatever what they call them, because they have like 3 different types of lanes under their company umbrella, you'll be able to get betting stats.
Wow. Okay.
On their TV systems.
Good.
That's from Better View. Maxim has entered the sports betting and iCasino industry.
Maxim, the magazine.
Maxim magazine.
Okay.
The men's magazine, the men's lifestyle magazine, whatever you want to call it. They did a deal with Carousel Group to launch MaximBet.com.
Okay.
So we'll see when that launches. They've been talking about it for a little while. Nothing set on when the actual launch date's going to be, but they are talking about possibly a state like New Jersey having it first.
Hey, great.
Because Carousel is already licensed in New Jersey. We're working on their license.
I would certainly check it out.
And one last little note. Scientific Games did a deal with BetSwap, which is sort of like PropSwap, but you incorporate it into the sportsbook itself.
Oh, okay.
So you can actually put BetSwap. The BetSwap enables people to sell their betting slips.
Okay.
Between each other.
All right.
And that'll be incorporated into the Scientific Games sports betting platform.
Interesting. Wow.
So that's it for this week's book report. I'm glad everyone joined us. If you have any news or stories you want to see included here, info@turnpikesportsradio.com. It's the best way to reach us, or you can comment on the blog, and we'll see you next week.
And that'll do it for us. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.